Good morning, class. This is Teacher Judea. Our lesson objective for today is to make connection between text to particular issues, concerns, and disposition in life. So what do you think is our hidden word based on the picture? It is, yes, connection. So when we say making connection, so according to Harvey and Goodwis of 2000, you might have noticed but your previous experiences, knowledge, emotions, and understanding affect how you learn. So this is what we call the schema, or your background knowledge and experiences that actually help you make sense and meaning of the material you are exposed to. Learning how to access this prior knowledge, experiences, emotions, and opinions can help you make a connection to the text to help you understand concepts better. According to Keene and Zimmerman of 1997 and cited in College 2004, concluded that students like you comprehend better when you meet different kinds of connections. So these three connections include the following: text to self, text to text, and text to world. Let's have the first one, text to self connections. So these are actually personal connections that you make between your self and the selection you are dealing with. Previous experiences, emotions, or opinions may be similar to the one present in the material. So questions upon are asked: what does this remind me of my life? How this is similar to my life, and how is this different from my life? Has something like this ever happened to me? How does this relate to my life? What were my feelings when I read this? So those are the questions for text to self. Next is text to text connection. Okay, text to self connection are actually personal connection that you make between yourself and the selection you are dealing with. Previous experiences, emotions, or opinions may be similar to the ones present in the material. So questions to ponder and ask: what does this remind me in my life? How is this similar to my life? Or how is this different from my life? Has something like this ever happened to me? How does this relate to my life? And what were my feelings when I read this? So it is about your personal connection to a certain text. Next one is text-to-text connection. These are the connections where you relate one material to another that you have read or have already come across. Text might be similar from the author or same theme or topic, same genre, and the like. So questions to ponder and ask: what does this remind me of in another book I have read? How is this text similar to other things I have read? How is this different from other books I have read? And have I read about something like this before? Okay, so next is text to world connection. So it is or are the larger connections that a reader brings to a reading situation, including our perception of the world. Questions upon are asked: what does this reminds me of in the real world? How is this text similar to things happening in the real world? And how is this different to things happening in the real world? And how does this part relate to the world around me? So for example, how you relate yourself to the character of King Arthur in the King Arthur and His Knights of the Round Table by Roger Lancelin Green is text-to-self connection, while The way you compare the theme of the novels written by Nicholas Sparks to each other is text-to-text connection. Last is relating real-life issues and scenarios to things read from selection. On the other hand is text-to-world connection. So let's try to identify whether it is text-to-self, text-to-text, or text-to-world. 1. While reading, Melvin noticed that the main character in the story is stopped just like the main character in the book he read yesterday. The answer is text-to-text. 2. Jana is reading a science fiction story. In the story, she thinks that what happens to the characters could also happen on Earth if people don't start recycling more. The answer is text-to-world. 3. Jana is reading a book where a character visits a loved one in the hospital. It reminds her of when she visited her grandmother in the hospital. The answer is text-to-self. 4. Genial is reading a book and notices that the main character's aunt is very similar to her Aunt Lila. The answer is text-to-self. 5. Jasmine is reading a non-fiction book about the Civil War. She thinks that the author of the book will disagree with a point another author made about the Civil War. The answer is text-to-text. Now let's discuss about making annotations. So the best way to remember and associate your experiences with those presented in any text is by annotating. Annotating is to make mark on the text, so it is not simply highlighting appealing words or sentence, though you will most likely end up highlighting the entire selection, so it is a purposeful strategy to help you comprehend what you are reading on a deeper level than if you were to just read it straight through. It is an excellent way to deconstruct text into meaningful pieces for better understanding. So its main goal is to make connections between what you already know about practically anything in the world around you. So we have here 4 major benefits of annotating by Acevedo 2017. First, it makes you more engaged in the material. Slows your reading that helps you to focus on details and have better retentions and comprehension. It helps you process what you are reading. It records textual evidence for later reference. You even note your questions for further research. He also added the following annotation strategies may be used. So these are the following strategies. Okay. So to make it more engaging and interesting, you may also use illustrated annotations, which use images to represent concepts and elements. The creation of illustration may help you synthesize information and at the same time may help increase creativity and engagement while reading. So they make annotating text a more hands-on experiences and learning a more meaningful and personal. So here is an example of how a student used simple symbols and or annotation to note significant elements from the poem Crossing the Bar. So as you can see, the student uses different shapes such as star and then ask some questions. So this is one of the example on how you put annotation in a text for you to make connection. Okay, remember, the most important things in life are the connections you made with others by Tom Ford. Thank you for listening. This is Teacher Judea.